Hello, my friend. Welcome to Haein Yoga. In today's session, we will be focusing on the crow pose. It's an entry session to arm balance for beginners, as well as a refresh course for seasoned practitioners to strengthen the foundation in crow pose to take it to the next level. I would like to share a quote from BKS Iyengar. When I practice, I'm a philosopher. When I teach, I'm a scientist. When I demonstrate, I'm an artist. There are many characters you can play in yoga practice. The forever calm, equanimous, wise isn't the only character in the story of yoga. There is a warrior, there is a fool, and many more. For today, my invitation for you is to be the scientist and find a formula that works for you, that makes it easier, accessible for you. Being a challenging pose does not mean that it has to be hard. Finding your own secret to make it accessible is not cheating. That's being smart. So, with that said, let's dive in. All right, we're going to start with a few conditioning exercise. It's an arm balance. I think feeling strong in our arm will be helpful, physically but also mentally. So let's do a bit of a strengthening exercise for the arm. Think of it a bit like a push-up, but maybe modified. From tabletop, simply I would like you to bend your elbows and bring your chest and your head down as far as you can and come back up. What's really important is you need to be able to come back up. So you're not going to a place where you collapse, but where you know that you can come back up. Another thing that I want you to pay attention is that trying to really keep that elbow on top of the wrist. So it's a push-up, like working with the arms at the same time, remembering the alignment for the crow pose. Try this a few times. It might be helpful to actually have a mirror. I think I'm in a good align, but maybe from the side it could be a little bit out of the line. So that's the first one, and let's work with our fingers, because in the end, we want to in the end, this is a balancing with the finger, isn't it? So let's strengthen our hand and the finger as well. Just simply squeeze your hand and spread your hands and your fingers as much as you can. Soon you're going to feel your forearm burning up. That is kind of a place where you want to go. Ooh. Okay. Just a few more time. But these two exercise is what we just did before, and this finger exercise is definitely something you can come back again and again. When you want to warm yourself up for arm balance, inversion practice, or any arm-related postures. Okay, shake it out. Next one, let's look at the shape of crow pose. First, let's look at the arm. Bring your arms forward, and I would like you to think of really pushing your arms away from you. This is the first action that you really want to do in crow pose, actually in any arm balance pose. You want to push against the floor. Now, with one of your hands, just to hold just around your chest, and as you push, notice how that muscle in your chest is activating. You feel that boom, yeah? Okay, the second one, think of hugging your arms into the center line. You're not bringing your hands together, but you want to hug in the arms. So this time, touch your armpit and hug the arms in. And again, you will notice how this whole area is firing up. All right, so remember to push and hug in. That's for the arm. Let's look at the leg. sit with your toes together in front of you. And keep your knees apart and have your upper arm to the inside of the leg. Keep your elbows bent, have your palm forward. So this is like it is crow pose, yeah, but in seated position. And notice how, you can easily relax your leg. So what is happening here is with your leg, you want to push against your arms, and your arm is pushing back against the leg to create that lock. So I can't really tell what's really going on here, but you know what I mean. Push your legs against your arm as much as you can. All right? So remember the sensation with your leg and with your arms. And now I'm going to add just one last bit. Relax. We're going to add in the last bit, which is about the trunk. So you want to engage your core and also think of bringing your shoulder blades as far away as possible, really rounding that back. Okay, toes together, knees out, upper arms to the inside of your leg. Keep your elbows bent and have your palm facing forward. Let's start with the arms, okay? Push forward and hug in. Now, legs hug in into the arm and let the arm also resist against the leg. And now the core, pull the belly in and think of bringing your shoulder blades away from each other as you do that. Push even further forward without losing that contact between the arms and the leg, okay? Hold there. Just remember all of this. Arms forward, hugging in, legs hugging in, belly pulled in, and shoulder blades away from each other. And relax. Whew. Okay, well done. Now, just one last exercise, and this is about balancing. Now that we feel our arms a bit stronger and our hands feel stronger, and knowing a bit better what this shape is about, where we are engaging in this posture, let's look at balancing. Just stand with your hip wide distance and stand on your heel, like have the weight on your heels. And from here, try to lift up the heel. And try to stay up. Just remember this feeling, yeah? This time, keep your body as straight as you can without bending the hips. Lean forward while keeping the shape of your body. Lean forward so that the weight is moving from your heels towards your toes. When your heels becomes light, then push your toes against the floor to lift up. So instead of trying to lift up the heel, as the weight shifts towards the toes, push the toes against the ball of the feet and the toes against the floor to lift up the heel. And slowly release. Try this one more time. Quite different feeling, isn't it? Keep the shape of your body. Feel the weight over your heels and then slowly lean forward with your whole body. Feeling the weight shifting towards the ball of your feet and your toes. Then instead of lifting up the heel, push the ball of the feet and the toes against the floor to rise up. Keep the shape of your body. And release. So this is how we're going to do. You are not trying to lift up. You want to shift the weight, rock the weight forward to your hands, from your feet to your hands, and then, picking yourself up with your hands. So let's try this. Have squat down with your feet close to each other, because eventually you want to keep your toes together, otherwise everything will kind of splash out. And then there are different variations. I find the easiest way is keeping your elbows bent and having your legs resting on top of the upper arm, so your arms becomes a bit like a shelf. So you want to really hunch as much as you can to have your upper arms inside of your thigh, yeah? And your shin bone and your thighs are on top of your upper arm. Your knee really need to stick out of your upper arm. This is important. And then where does the hands go? Not too close to your feet where you're going to push yourself away, but rather pretty far so that you need to kind of fall forward already. Hands are shoulder wide distance. Fingertips can slightly point inwards and forward, but not really outwards. And from here, lift up your heels first. As you do that, it's not just, remember, it's not going up, it's kind of going forward. Go forward. Lift up your hips. As you do this, you will notice the weight going above your arms. Now remember, hug the legs in, hug the arms in, push the hands against the floor, belly in, shoulder blades away from each other. And gaze forward. Roll to the top of your toes. We're not going up, we're going forward. Feel the weight shifting towards your hand. Feel the feet becoming as light as you can. Then one toe up. Go a little bit more forward. And now push your hands and your fingers away from the floor to pick the other foot up. So how you're going to go about this is play with really shifting the weight from the feet towards your finger. 50-50, 40-60, 30-70, 20-80, 10-90. Playing with that part, playing with that shifting of the weight. And when you feel comfortable with that, then lifting one foot and eventually the other. Okay. Just make sure that you remember where to place your gaze. Don't look at your belly, then you're going to roll. Look forward, and that's where you want to go. It's not really about coming up, but it's about going forward and picking yourself up. All right, have fun and enjoy. Thank you everyone for joining me today. I hope you feel empowered with deeper understanding of what builds this posture. So here's a question for today. What helped you the most to make this posture possible? By answering this question, by pondering into this question, what was being smart is transforming into a wisdom that you can share with others. So, comment below if you like this video, give a thumb up, and subscribe to my channel for weekly yoga practice. I wish you a beautiful, beautiful day and see you next week, brothers and sisters. Keep shine on!